What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the Iron Sheik passes away. What if CM Punk tries to walk out of AEW? WWE planning a huge surprise winner for men's Money in the Bank? An NXT champion calls out Seth Rollins? Is WWE creating new sets for Raw and SmackDown? More Bray Wyatt return rumors? Damian Priest gets huge praise and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, top story, the Iron Sheik passes away. Now, unfortunately, we start off today's news with incredibly sad news as the former WWE champion and Hall of Famer the Iron Sheik passes away. A tweet was posted on his official Twitter account confirming his passing. In an excerpt, today we gather with heavy hearts to bid farewell to a true legend, a force of nature, and an iconic figure who left an incredible mark on the world of professional wrestling. It is with great sadness that we share the news of the passing of the Iron Sheik, but we also take solace in knowing that he departed the world peacefully, leaving behind a legacy that will endure for generations to come. The Sheik had a number of accolades during his time in wrestling as a mainstay in the World Wrestling Federation. Sheik would win the title in 1983, defeating Bob Backlund in Madison Square Garden. Not only that, he was a tag team champion and of course inducted into a Hall of Fame class of 2005. Sheik would also make sporadic appearances in the WWE, of course winning the infamous gimmick battle royal at WrestleMania 17. Sheik was known for calling it as it is and on a daily occasion calling out Hulk Hogan as a jabroni. He will of course be sadly missed, and we of course send our condolences to his family, friends and fans. Next up, what if CM Punk tries to walk out of AEW? And now that AEW has announced CM Punk's return at the upcoming Collision show, how does the promotion plan to deal with any AEW talent who are unhappy with Punk's return, and more specifically, Punk himself? Well, according to Fightful Select, things have cooled off and AEW has definitely taken measures, as much talent do have issues with Punk, they're making sure to keep those separated, so to speak. You may recall talk that AEW would split its roster into two shows, Dynamite and Collision, the idea being to have Punk's friends work with him and his detractors working on the other show. The talk of a roster split continues, but nothing definite has been announced. Do you think AEW will be able to diffuse any difficulties inside of its locker room? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, WWE planning a surprise winner for the men's Money in the Bank. And while LA Knight has been mentioned as a frontrunner, Ringside News is reporting WWE Money in the Bank is coming up and the company is well on their way to booking that event. Ringside News reached out to a member of creative team to ask about LA Knight winning the ladder match. We were told, let everyone report that. They will look stupid when the match is over. Given the WWE's fondness for misdirection, anyone who expects a straight answer from a source is naive and or foolish. Money in the Bank has become one of WWE's biggest shows of the year, and while the men's briefcase winner isn't always booked well, the women's winner often is. Now that they have a second men's world championship, the briefcase could get some of its prestige back if the WWE books it properly. Who do you guys will think will win this year? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, NXT champion calls out Seth Rollins. A two-time NXT champion Braun is aiming for the stars as he's issued a challenge to Seth Rollins to defend his World Heavyweight Championship, not on Raw, not on SmackDown, but on NXT. Wrestling Inc. described Braun's big challenge on 6th June NXT. Brecker called out Rollins on his final moments of the show, saying he wanted Rollins to prove that he was the workhorse for WWE by coming to the developmental brand and putting his title on the line. He also said that while Rollins was the inaugural NXT champion, Brecker was the most dominant holder of that title. Brecker is an impressive physical specimen with proven skills in the squared circle. Nevertheless, the second-gen superstar may want to get more experience before stepping to Seth. Brecker wouldn't be the first wrestler to underestimate Monday Night Rollins and pay for their arrogance. Inaugural World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins' open challenge is certainly attracting plenty of challengers as the Visionary just won the title, yet he's already defended it at live events on the recent Raw against Damian Priest. Do you think Seth will travel to the black and gold brand to defend his title? Is it a good idea? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Braun Strowman medical update. As good news and bad news for WWE superstar Braun Strowman. PW Insiders reporting good news in that Braun Strowman was released from the hospital yesterday following his neck fusion surgery. However, there's bad news for fans of the Monster Among Monsters, as PW Insider added, there's no official word on his recovery or expected return to the ring, but it's not believed to be any time in the near future. It also pointed out that Strowman is well liked backstage and many people at Raw expressed sympathy for him. Strowman has formed a tag team with Ricochet prior to his surgery, with the two superstars drafted to Raw. But for now, it appears Ricochet will be focusing on singles competition as he heads into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We send our best wishes for a fast and full recovery to Braun Strowman. Next up, Damian Priest gets huge praise. It looks like Damian Priest hit another grand slam recently. PW Insider reports the Archer of Infamy received plenty of praise for his main event match against Seth Rollins on the 5th June Raw. This isn't the first time Priest has been lauded, as his Backlash match against Bad Bunny was seen as a tour de force. With speculation that Damian could eventually leave the Judgment Day, could he have a big singles push looming? Next up, recently drafted tag team earns Accolades. Damian Priest isn't the only superstar whose work impressed people backstage on Raw, as PW Insider mentioned that former NXT Tag Champions Kaden Carter and Katana Chance impressed people. Carter and Chance worked a good match with Women's Tag Team Champions Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, coming up short but still looking amazing. Next up, WWE creating new sets for Raw and SmackDown. There's interesting news concerning both Raw and SmackDown, as Ringside News reports the WWE Universe could see some cosmetic changes to both shows. Exciting things are happening in WWE, and there might be new TV sets coming soon. While we await those, let's appreciate the current Raw and SmackDown sets. We're told that with the merger and TV rights deals, everything like that is under review. The WWE likes to shake things up from time to time. At one point there were rumors that they were going to bring its classic SmackDown fist back, but that never happened. Well, it did, but it was incredibly disappointing. Would you guys like to see new sets on both Raw and SmackDown? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Solo Sikoa's Malevolent message. The Bloodline Solo Sikoa is a man of few words, but a recent message shows he doesn't have much to say to get his point across. The Enforcer tweeted what can only be construed as a message with a malevolent meaning. Solo posted a picture of the Bloodline with a former Honorary Uso Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso's images crossed out with a bold red X's. Next up, more Bray Wyatt news. It's time for the latest update on Bray Wyatt and whether fans should expect him back in the near future. Ringside News recently reported that Bray Wyatt's WWE hiatus is still going, and there's no sign that it'll be coming to an end at the moment. Ringside News reached out to ask again about Bray Wyatt's return status. We are told there is still no word on his return to the company's television storylines. As we discussed, Bray Wyatt is one of the most talked about wrestlers regardless of whether he's actively wrestling, but as fans have seen, much of this talk often ends up being dispelled. Next up, AEW is working hard to sign Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Are the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega going to stay in AEW or pursue greener pastures when the AEW deals expire? According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, AEW getting more aggressive in trying to get the contracts of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega completed. Many pundits believe that the Bucks and Omega will remain together whatever their decision, but it's staying in AEW or heading elsewhere such as the WWE. Next up, why are Baron Corbin and Mustafa Ali working on NXT? Now, while it's not rare for main roster superstars to head to NXT, some fans were caught off guard by both wrestlers' appearances. However, Fightful Select is reporting that the WWE has been planning this for some time, which is why both superstars were designated as free agents in the WWE draft. Furthermore, there were several NXT talent who specifically had requested to work with Mustafa Ali, and word we got was that Ali was more than happy to oblige. The goal for these appearances to add interest in NXT, help refresh Ali and Corbin, assesses the talent they'll be working with, and get experience for NXT talent with people who have worked main roster TV and style for quite a while. And finally, Jon Moxley headed back to Japan. Last but not least, good news for Japanese wrestling fans, as Moxley is set to appear at the upcoming Independence Day scheduled for 4th and 5th July. According to Wrestling News, wrestler El Desperado challenged Moxley to a match, and now Moxley responded to the challenge by noting that he would be at the Independence Day with former Ring of Honor World Champion Homicide, leading to a tag team match being set up that will see Moxley and Homicide take on Desperado and a partner of his choosing. There you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.